Is it on? Yes. Hello guys, welcome back. If you don't know, I go by Vanity Legal. Today we are going to be talking about my abusive relationship or my experience with domestic violence. And this is happening because I really just, I need to talk about it, and I didn't know in what way I would need to talk about it, but I'm figuring out that it is now because I have PTSD, and I kind of want to share the story because it's gotten to a point where journaling is not working. A lot of things are just not working, so I want to get it out and hopefully it helps somebody and I never have to really revisit this again. Alright, first of all, you know what we're going to do? Because although it's my experience, ooh, okay, that's better. My experience, I do want to give some context. So, for those that may not know what PTSD is, let's see. By definition, and I did jot down some notes and stuff. I'm going to try not to cry, but I can't promise that. It is a disorder in which a person has difficulty recovering after experiencing or witnessing a terrifying event. It can last for months, years, with triggers, and can bring back memories of trauma. Now, if you guys don't know, I was in a abusive relationship for about, I want to say 2.5, 3 years. It started when I was about 19 and it lasted for a couple years. It started out with the father of my child, my only child that I have. And so I kind of just want to go over signs. I want to tell you the story. I want to tell you how it affects me now. So the signs that I kind of saw in the beginning were aggressiveness, but I always liked aggressiveness because it made me feel safe. However, it was like it magnified by like 100 once it got back. Okay, so pretty much what happened was my very first experience with it was when I was pregnant. I want to say I might have been at least 5 months pregnant when the first act of violence occurred. He threw me on the ground face down on my stomach because I had saw him talking to a female on social media, and me personally, I don't deal with cheating or anything like that, so I was like, I'm out. I know I'm pregnant, but I'm out. That time I was living in Michigan, so I went to my mom's house. I was trying to go to my mom's house. I'm gonna leave. So he kind of choked me off my feet, threw me face down on my stomach. Girl, guys, whoever, that wasn't a leave for me. That didn't make me leave. That did not make me leave. It wasn't that. And I think it was because I was in such shock. One, this was the first man, like I met them in high school. And it was the first man I like loved. So I was so shocked that it happened. And then I was also a person who picked broken and hurt people. And so I was like, there's no way, like that was just, he didn't mean to do that kind of thing. So got over it, and because I really wanted a family, like I had a kid for that reason. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't not planned, like it was planned. So after that it was okay. Then I would see other stuff, females. I'm telling y'all, when somebody shows that they don't respect you, you got to get out of it. Because it was so many signs of just not respecting me, more so than the violence at first. Like, okay, I would still see stuff or whatever, and I would say stuff, and it would get turned like, well, why are you looking at this? Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just sitting here on a computer, and an alert pops up or something. Like, what do you mean? So I would say those are my early signs, like the fact that you lifted me off my feet, threw me on my stomach, face down and stuff while I was pregnant. That obviously that was a sign. So that's kind of when it started, but it just progressively got worse. It went from that to Jesus. I'm sorry. Pretty much it went from that to they had ended up going to jail when I was pregnant, really late when I was pregnant. So obviously I felt alone. I felt very isolated, and they were so controlling. It was like I had to call and I had to figure out how to put money on, if you know anything about jail, on books and stuff like that. And I did that. And I was so hurt because I always rallied for this person because I knew that it wasn't me. I knew that this didn't start with me. I ended up finding out he was abusive in his past relationships too, but it didn't start with me. And I hope it stops with me. But once I was able to see that there was some trauma there, I was okay, like, whether we're together or not, because I see that I think you're an amazing person, just get some help. And that didn't work. But this was somebody that was extremely, to me, traumatized and hurt, so I kept trying. They went to jail again when I had her as a newborn. Again, I felt very abandoned, because it's like, yo, like, I have to put all this stuff by myself. I have to figure out all this stuff by myself now. You know what I'm saying? It's my first time having a kid. I'm only 19, although it was planned. So again, I picked up the pieces. No problem. It just continually got worse. A lot of gaslighting, a lot of, well, I do this because you don't do this, and da 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 da. I gained a lot of weight, y'all. Like, after I had my daughter, let me go back. So even when I was in the hospital, they still wanted me to have sex with them and stuff. I had a C-section, y'all. Like, and it wasn't even like 2 days later that, this is so bad, they were trying to have sex with me, like, in the hospital or whatever. If they had no regard for me as a person. I had preeclampsia when my daughter said to have an emergency C-section, so we both almost didn't make it. That was the only time that they were really attentive. It was almost like the whole thing was like, I really want a kid, they wanted a kid with me, and that's just pretty much it. That was pretty much all it was. But we kept trying to figure it out, and it just got worse and worse and worse. It went from, we had burned so many bridges with our families that we pretty much only had each other. We were sleeping in basements. It was times where I would literally be in a corner begging him, like, please do not do this to me. Like, please, because you're scaring me. That's how it would kind of start out at first, like, you're scaring me. And the only time he would really, he got something out of scaring me. Like, it was his thing. Because if I would puff back, like, for some reason, because it got so bad where it was certain instances where I was ready to die. So if I would be like, oh, are you going to kill me? You know what? Let's do this. Somebody's about to die. Then he'd be like, what? I'm not trying to kill you. So it was just a big mess. And the after effects was a lot of, I have been, at least formally diagnosed with symptoms of PTSD. Just because you have to, when you're in a domestic violence relationship, or at least for me, the highs were high, but the lows were low. Like, there were days that I could wake up and feel it. Like, I'd be like, yeah, this is not going to be a good day. And I'm so sorry. But yeah, I would wake up and be like, this is really not gonna be a good day. I should have brought some tissue in here. And no matter what I did, I could literally tiptoe around, be really nice that day, and it would still go left. And I decided to make this video because I moved out of the state, obviously where they are, in late 2018. And I was so unrecognizable. Like, I literally was so aggressive and so scared. Like, once I got a job or whatever, I was so scared to work at night. I never worked at nights. And one time I took a shift. Anybody close to his skin complexion, anybody, any man or male or anything, it would freak me out so bad. So I want to say is, pretty much, if you're in a domestic, like, violence relationship, I'll try to put some resources down below. Get out. I understand a lot of people, especially if you can. Now, this can happen with your parents or whatever, but if you can get out, I'm so sorry. I'm looking for like a towel or something. My face is like messed up. If you can get out, do it. Seriously. Because having had a kid with the person, because I tried to co-parent, and that weighs on me a lot because I didn't have my dad a lot when I was younger. Not feeling like I could have them around my kid is really taxing, because I have a daughter. And she has amazing male figures, but it's very just, even when I tried to co-parent, because I still didn't feel safe, and it was fine. We was like, okay, y'all can go somewhere and we'll be around each other, but you know, whatever.
After being drugged and beat and choked and all this stuff, I still put myself in that position because I couldn't bring myself to leave my daughter with them by themselves. And I remember, and they were in a relationship, they tried to bring up all this stuff, and I'm like, I really don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to, you want to have a relationship, that's fine, but I have to be here, kind of thing. And when I didn't want to talk about it, I remember from where we were driving around a corner, and it's like kind of vacant. If you're in Detroit, we was like near Detroit, like by a vacant area. That in itself. So I'm like, yo, I do not want to die right here. So they were still aggressive and violent. And it was really weird to me because I'm like, you're in a relationship. We're talking about co-parenting. So co-parenting never went where I did that a couple of times. It was just little stuff like us breaking up, or anytime I would leave, and I left. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I left and went back maybe freaking, I don't know, 10 times. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to do therapy in between. So I'm not saying it's like it was an easy thing and it just happened overnight, because it didn't. But it took a lot out of me. And you have to understand, anybody that really loves you, it's not going to increase the suffering on your life. They're not going to steal from you. They've stolen money from me. And it was when we weren't together, the times we weren't together. So it made it hard not to be together, because it was like our families weren't supporting it. They were sick of it. We had burnt so many bridges. We had so many issues that they took money out of my account. Like, I have your daughter. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand why you would do that. So it was stuff like that. Stuff like breaking my car window. So he broke my front window, my back window when I tried to leave my car. And it's like, yo, again, your daughter has to have a means of transportation. Between us two, it's only me. You didn't think about it. I ended up having to pay to get my windows fixed, because that's how done. Like, at that point, I was like, I don't even want you to come and try to fix the windows. I don't want your money. I want to do it myself. It's fine. I just want to say, pretty much, I know that was all over the place. And I'm so scared to like actually put this out. But what I will say is, you have to be very careful about who you get in relationships with, whether it's friendships, whatever it is, and try to realize why you're doing it. Because at the time that we decided to have a kid, honestly speaking, I was just so, because we got separated when we were in high school. We dated in high school, and at that time I just really wanted love and stuff, and I went about it the wrong way, not realizing we had been apart for a long time. We had different life experiences. It could have just, you know what I'm saying, like, things happen, and we didn't take any time to get to know each other. We like started talking in November, and I was pregnant by a January. So it was just like, be careful, because I'm still dealing with it. It's not to the point where it's like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do this to me? But it's more so like, I still have nightmares. That's a part of PTSD. I have nightmares. And by nightmares, sometimes it's literally like you two are somehow dating. That's a nightmare for me. That is a nightmare for me. So I have nightmares, or you have triggers. Like, there's certain dates, if I can remember triggers and stuff, which is kind of what happened this time. It was around this was not a very good time for me. By the time I left, it's like May. All I can say is, one, I can't believe I just had a full out meltdown. PTSD exists outside of war heroes. I would like to call myself a survivor now at this point, because even when I moved, it took a lot of therapy. I don't know who this is gonna reach, but I'm very thankful for, I have my god sister, my mom. It's very hard for some people to grasp it because they haven't been through it, so they don't understand it. But I'm so thankful, because I've lashed out on family members and people I care about over the smallest things. And right now it's just one of those times where I'm kind of feeling it, and I'm ready to kind of release it and get it over with. Because I'm kind of feeling it right now, like, because I still don't understand exactly how somebody could treat somebody that way, but that is not my problem. I'm just really because as being a mom, a single, having a child with that person, and one day having to explain to them, hopefully by the grace of God, I pray that, maybe I have a relationship one day. But as of right now, it's just like, having to explain that one day, like, well, why? Because even when I was able to put aside everything that happened to me, we couldn't even co-parent. But understand that when y'all are in these positions, 9 times out of 10, they know what they're doing. It's not an anger issue. That is the biggest misconception. Like, oh, they have an anger issue. There might be something wrong, but most people are abusive because of the control. Like I said, when I would be extremely scared or whatever, it was like they were happy. Understand that, and I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you they know, because I think after I had moved around my daughter's birthday, I got a really, really, really long text from the person stating everything that happened, why they did it, how they did it. It was like, wow, so you knew. So you knew. And that was even more hurtful to me, because it was like, for lack of better words, I don't believe in ride or die, but for lack of better words, I didn't care about them just as, oh, we're in a relationship. I cared about them as a person. They completely, instead of taking advantage of it in a way of, hey, this is somebody that's in my corner, blah blah blah, and I forgave a lot of things, like genuinely, they took advantage and tried to, I don't know, destroy my life a little bit. But nonetheless, to all of those that helped me through this process, though, like, really thank you. And I've told them thank you, and they know who they are. Anybody that's in a situation, I understand sometimes when you love somebody, it's like, no, there's no way I can help them. You have to understand, when somebody does not want help or doesn't want to help themselves, you have to let it go. And I don't know if y'all believe in God or what you believe in, but, or the universe, but my way of doing it is like, hey, this is what I've done. This is all I can do. Like, God, universe, you got to take control from here. And if it happens to, then, come around better, then that's fine. But all I'm going to say is, it's a very hard reality to understand that some people that you mean nothing but good and you fight for and stuff like that don't want the same for you. It's very hard to wrap your head around that. So I had to share it because, I don't know, again, it was all over the place, but I feel like I needed to say it because it was something that was really on me. Like, journaling, it wasn't working. Nothing was really working. So again, if you're in that predicament, get out. Like, seriously, get out of it. If you can, get out of it. When I left, like, when my last time when I moved, I left everything. I had a car, everything where I was. I left. When I tell you, I put all of my clothes, I think maybe in 1 or 2 trash bags, and left. And never looked back. I left so much stuff. It was time, because it would have came to a point where one of us would have ended up hurt or dead, or just one of our lives would have been ruined. And I don't want anybody to be, I just feel like if you're going to be in prison or dead or something, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I tried my best, and it was just, yeah, it was tough. It was really, really tough. Don't be afraid to talk to people and seek help and all those things, because I'm telling you, in my early stages of healing, I lashed out at people. I remember one time, DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever was supposed to bring me, like, my food or whatever, and they didn't bring me my food. I was calm, and the second time I wasn't. It was like chicken wings from, like, Hooters. I lost it. I completely lost it. Loud noises, still somewhat kind of trigger me a little bit, but it's more of like yelling. That's like, it really gets me. Sleeping, cold sweats and nightmares, and it's taking a lot of therapy and stuff. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because I know that there are other people going through it, other young women that are way older. There are same-sex couples that might go through it. When someone loves you, or even cares about you, respects you, they're not gonna put you in a position where you have to suffer. They're not gonna do that. I just want to say, if you're going through it, I'm with you. I've been there. You can always reach out via social media or in the comments. I just really need to get this off my chest. So it's more of a vent session. It's not really in any particular order, because what I thought I was gonna do because I know I was gonna make this video one day. When I made it, it was gonna be very structured, and it's not. It's not. I just want people to understand that if you're going through it, if you've been through it, everybody's process is different. Find you a community of people that care about you, but understand that you are responsible for your healing. Although you didn't cause yourself that pain, I want to urge you that it's not your fault, but I want to urge you to at least say, hey, if you are able to take some kind of power over it, do that. Like for me, I had to tell myself, like, hey, I stayed longer than I needed to. Like I took accountability for certain things, because then over time we both became extremely toxic. Whether it was out of survival, whatever the case may be, it should have ended way before it did. But we love people, so we put up with copious amounts of things. It got to a point though where I was still hurting myself and self-sabotaging. I felt very helpless. I've been through a lot. I've tried many different things, guys. I've went the religious route. I've strictly religious route, and for a moment helped. Intensive therapy, working out, losing a lot of weight. So because it was a constant reminder of myself that I've never been this big. I was only this big because I was severely depressed, and I was in this situation where I ate myself to death. So you have to keep fighting. My message, if you know nothing else, is it is okay. And though it's not your fault, especially if you're out of it, you have this moment now. Handle it. Take care of it. And you don't have to tell everybody everything like I'm doing. I'm just able to do it now because I made a lot of strides. And I know that. I feel that. I don't know how long it lingers on. It could be next week. It could be for years. I don't know. But I do know what PTSD feels like. I do know what trauma feels like. I do know what losses feel like. I know what being a single parent feels like. I know what all of that feels like. But what I'm saying is you create the narrative. So especially if you're out of it, man, go get help. Do something. You have to fight. I know how it feels. Trust me. I think that's pretty much it, because I don't want to really drag it, because it already wasn't structured. So I mean, honestly, that's it. I love you guys. Yeah, bye.